He was second in the team in aces in 2025, so that adds to that pressure that Hannah's referring to.
You're right about that. One of the best players on this George Mason squad is Liam French. They'll be without him. Not just the serving, it comes to the all-around game for Liam French. I'm looking at the other side of the floor, Skylar Varga. Very excited to see Varga in Long Beach State, one of the best players in the country, a returning All-American. So we'll see what he looks like in this one, see how these teams match up, Keith.
In that 2025
we're just about ready to get things started.
Munster, Saskatchewan also made the all-tournament
team. Beach to serve.
Evangelista, who leads the team in kills, just has to put it over. Now it's a chance for Varga. It's Skylar Varga, or Aiden Welton, I should say. George Mason getting back on level terms. They played 8 sets this season, but only 2 of them decided by 5 or more points. As you saw, Alexander Lilly, who was all EIVA as a freshman last season, they're expecting big things out of him. Good dipping serve received well by Larson. On the far side, it's Hrstinovic. And the Toronto native gets the kill for the Beach.
Terrific placement right there, just cross-court into that back corner. Impossible to defend for George Mason.
Skylar Varga out of Munster, Saskatchewan. Hrstinovic, the 2 Canadians in this team. Quick dump over put in by Georgi Zahariev, the Bulgaria under-20 international.
Just a heady play right there to dump that one over the net. Saw nobody was there for Long Beach State and found that empty floor.
Zariev, sorry about that. Emphasis on the wrong syllable there, and a good dipping serve, but a good reception by Larson Libero, but a quick swing in the middle by Ben Braun. We saw them do that a few times here for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Ben Braun using that 6'11" reach right there. The angle that came down at, just impossible.
And now Braun will serve as the Beach are back in front. Quick tip over by Elijah Lazor. Now here on the near side, it's Welton once more, but he's denied by the Beach defense. Braun going back to the Golden State out of Rancho Mirage, California. A little awkward reception there, but a quick swing in the middle, and they can't get it back as Elijah Lazor, who had 32 kills and a .358 hitting percentage last season, comes up with the point for the Patriots.
And you're seeing George Mason kind of going with quick offense right now, trying to catch Long Beach State off guard, and so far so good, it's working.
They're back within 1. Jackson Herbert to serve, but he overcooked it. Hrstinovic back to serve. He was an honorable mention All-America last year. And he just missed that one long. Right back to the Patriots, back to within a point.
Oh, that just missed that back line there.
Luis Ventura is the first referee up on the ladder. Jeremy Malott, second referee on the floor. Robert Fenn and Tim Boyer are the line judges. Good dipping serve, well received by Varga. Chance here for Alex Kandev, but the Bulgaria missed it long. Lazor, 6'6" senior, serving again. Goes off speed this time. Jackson Christ got there. Here's a little dump over by Kandev, and this time Kandev gets the point and the serve back for the Beach.
Yeah, there are just so many guys that can kill you on this Long Beach State front line. You're seeing that right now. It feels like somebody different is involved in every single point, and that's what's making it difficult on George Mason. There's so many different guys you can go to create offense.
Kandev mishit that serve. Another side out and a point for the Patriots.
Yeah, a couple of uncharacteristic service errors for really both these teams so far in this one.
Aiden Wilton is only a sophomore to serve. Good dipping serve, but received well by Varga, and then put back over by Alexander Lilly, the sophomore. He hit .394 last season, and he's starting to round back into form. First lead of this first set for George Mason. Well to leave the serve short. And Jackson Christ out of Long Beach. Second generation player. His dad Jeff played for Long Beach State back when they were still known as the 49ers. And he gets the first ace of the match.
Just a tremendous serve right there to tuck that one inside the line.
With the Beach back in front. Oh, excellent dig made by Welton. Now over here, Evangelista is denied at the net. Terrific defense by Jake Pizzanti, the setter. Long Beach State matching their largest lead. Chris well short with that serve. That was Chris' fourth ace of the season. Robert Evangelista to serve. He out of Rochester. He leads the team in kills so far in this early season. Quick set in the middle, and Ben Braun does it again right up Route 1 as he did earlier. Pizzanti was an AAU under 17 All-American when he was in high school. Good reception there by the new libero, Steph Kins, and off the block, it's Jackson Herbert coming up with the kill.
Great job by George Mason early in this one. It was, one of the storylines coming in, how they would handle the loss to Ohio State yesterday and stick with things here, their plan of attack against the number 2 team in the nation. But I've liked what I've seen so far for George Mason.
Yeah, that 3-0 scoreline sets is definitely a bit of a flattering for the Buckeyes as it's quickly dumped over the net. Daniil Hrstinovich going for placement over power.
Yeah, just a little bit of creativity right there by Hrstinovich. Kind of just crafted that ball around the George Mason block.
Hrstinovich's second kill, he's hitting 1,000. Varga with a hard dipping serve, it's still received. Now another placement over power try by Varga doesn't go the way they wanted to. Kandev denied on the block, but he does come away with the point for Long Beach.
There really is just so much depth for the Beach. That is the thing when you look at all these different guys. Skylar Varga, who's going to the service line right now, he's the straw that stirs this drink for them, but it can be anybody on this team that steps up. I feel like everybody has been involved to this point. The one little hiccup that we've really seen for the Beach is just service errors right now.
As we just saw from Varga, they have 9 players through Long Beach State who have played for their junior national teams. This will be And there's another one for George Mason, Georgi Zaryev. Good reception by Larson, but it's put back over quickly. Jackson Herbert.
Yeah, the Beach really hasn't had an answer for Jackson Herbert at the net to this point. Seen him do that a number of times early in this first set.
That's his second kill. Zaharev also has 2 for the Patriots, but he overcooked that serve. And again, the Beach matching their largest lead at 2 points. Dane Hillis, the 6'3" senior outside hitter, comes on to serve for the Beach. And sure, left that toss a little bit short, and that pushed the ball long. As Ben Braun returns for the reigning champions, Jackson Herbert. He had 20 kills in a match against Harvard on March 28, 2025. Good reception by Varga. This will set up a chance on the near side. Hrstinovic! Pizzanti setting him up well again.
Yeah, a little bit more creativity there from Hrstinovic. He kind of just angled it in there, took a little bit off of that. And I think, when you're playing against Long Beach State, you're so geared up for, the power that they have.
That was his third kill. But as you said there, another, again, to your point, Dylan Tyrer, the service errors have been a problem.
Yep, the service errors certainly have been to this point for the Beach. I think we've seen
6 of them now.
6, yeah.
Good low dipping serve, but well received by Varga. And in the middle, it's Christ. And that'll take us to our first time out. Long Beach State getting a fight for George Mason early on. You're watching men's volleyball, or I should say Robert Evangelista. I take that back out of Rochester. In this match so far today, Evangelista has just the one attack so far, and he mishit that one. So Alex Kendev, who was first team All Big West last season, to serve for the Beach. Hard dipping serve, well received there by Herbert. And Georgi Zaharev ran out of real estate over there in front of the table.
Yeah, kind of misreceived right there by Jackson Herbert.
Such a hard line drive, so not the dipping topspin serve that you see from a lot of guys who make that high toss. And the commentator's curse strikes again as he mishits that one. After Long Beach had gotten their biggest lead of this first set.
Yeah, that one just came off bad. You could see it doing almost like a right-handed slider motion into the net right there.
Aiden Welton to serve once again. Good reception by Kendev. Mishit setup, but Varga is able to put it back over. A quick left-handed putback by Zaharev.
More of that quick offense for George Mason. It's been very, very successful in this opening set. They're sticking around here with the Beach. I think Long Beach has probably got to be a little bit upset with themselves with some of the service errors. Without those, it might be a bigger deficit.
And the touch by Hrstinovic gets the point as he drops it into the open space. That's his 4th kill. Jackson Christ, the USA Under-21 International, will serve. If it sounds louder for George Mason, they have about 25, 30 supporters over on the far side behind what is their bench in the first set. Great dig there made by Chris to save that point, but it wasn't enough as George Mason, no, they'll say it's in the net. So the beat 18-15, as we look at two of their important players who've made a big impact so far here today, Jake Pizzanti, the center, and Jackson Christ, the middle blocker.
Yeah, Christ in this one has been active. 2 points in the opening set here. He's got a kill for Long Beach. And Pizzanti has half a point so far. So both those guys contributing, not necessarily as active as we saw there on the Big Ten or the Big West Weekly Honors.
Chris with one of 2 service aces for the Beach. And he'll put it in play once again. Let the side out and the point go back over to the Patriots. Robert Evangelista, second on the team in kills last season with 196 of them. He's yet to get one here today, though. Goes for the off-speed serve. Tremendous dig there by Kandev. And Varga is denied, but it goes out. Great attempt by Steph Kinsa Libero, whose mother played volleyball at Kent State. Pesante, who we just mentioned, the redshirt freshman. He already has 10 assists. Good hard dipping serve, but well received. Set up on the far side. It's Evangelista with the swing. Now here's a chance for Varga trying to win that just at the net, but it's finally put back. Ben Braun strikes again right in the center.
And the way that Varga kind of tipped that off the hand of the blocker at the net, I think won that back for the Beach. The spin on that ball made it come back to the Beach, and they were able to score off of it.
Largest lead for the Beach as Pesante serves a let cord serve this time. Across the way, it's going to be Welton. The sophomore gets the point for George Mason to bring them back to within 3.
Heady play by Aiden Welton there. He saw Varga up with him at the net and just kind of changed speeds to loft it over his outstretched hand.
Welton's second kill. Good reception by Kellen Larson. Across the way, Hrstinovic off the block. Now switching the play, coming to Jackson Herbert, the big left-hander on the opposite. Now here's Varga one more time. Skylar Varga back to serve, the Canada under-23 international. As I mentioned, one of 9 who've played in junior national teams for Long Beach State. Good hard dipping serve, but a good reception by Jackson Herbert across the way. It's Aiden Welton. His third, sharing the team lead with Zaharev, who is now going to serve. Left it a little short, and service here is beginning to plague George Mason a little bit now, too.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of them here in this opening set. You know, Long Beach has 8 to this point, so doubling up George Mason. But that was one of the keys Hannah talked about off the top of the broadcast was George Mason and just them being steady at that service line.
Now Welton goes for the big cross-court swing, but the let cord took it. He got it off the block, I should say, so Welton gets another kill, and that'll put Jackson Herbert back on the service line. He led the team in kills last season. Easy reception there. We'll set up a big middle attack there for Varga, who had so much power on it. The ball went practically into the stands over there at the left side. Hrstinovic now to serve. He leads all players with 4 kills. And we might have a challenge coming up here from George Mason coach Jay Hosick in his 11th season at the helm. You see he's having a discussion over there with Jared Mallett, the second referee. And they are going to take a look at that last play. Unfortunately, we're not over this, so we're not sure what he's challenging. But at this point, with Long Beach State right now at least, only 2 points away from the first set, probably a good idea. If nothing else, just slow down some momentum.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing there is Skylar Varga. He came underneath that net.
While the ball was still in play,
yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to be what they're looking at, just the timing of how all that happened there.
Mm-hmm. Long Beach State will be taking on Ohio State tomorrow here in the Covelli Center, 4 p.m. opening serve. We'll have that for you here on Big Ten Plus, along with all of Ohio State's home men's volleyball matches.
Yeah, it's kind of fun for Long Beach State, right, as they're kind of ramping up their schedule. George Mason, their toughest test to this point in the season, the 20th ranked team in the country, and then they've got 13th ranked Ohio State, who took pretty easy care of George Mason yesterday, so you should have a very nice matchup between both those teams tomorrow. Just a great test for Ohio State, and obviously the same for the Beach. I'm sure the Buckeyes are gearing up for that one. They want to see how they stack up early in the season.
Yeah, again, as Hannah was talking about, that was a pretty deceptive scoreline as George Mason took Ohio State to extra points in each of the first two sets, 26-24 and 29-27, before finally running out of gas a little bit there in that third set. Same thing happened with them when they took on Central State. They went to the full 5 sets, and only one of them was by more than 5 points.
And you can see here, George Mason, they're a tough out, right? This team is continuing to battle as we're still reviewing the Varga play just moments ago.
Yeah, they were picked to finish third in the coaches poll in the EIVA, and it's a team on the rise. They're playing a fairly difficult schedule as well, especially here early on, taking on Long Beach and Ohio State. Certainly, you have to think this George Mason team is going to be considerably better in March as opposed to right now.
Absolutely, and that's the goal, right? That is what they're trying to do this season, is ramp up and be playing your best at the end of the year. You could see, got another review there, Skylar Varga tiptoeing that center line.
Yeah, great shot there from our floor camera down there, Sean Thompson. As a reminder, this match is being produced by students here at The Ohio State University, as the call is going to be upheld. Big Ten Plus Student U program is a program that is unique to college sports in the Big Ten Network, employing students learning the art of the broadcasting, and both on the talent side and the production side. You, as an Ohio State graduate, Dylan, can certainly attest to how important that program is.
Absolutely. It's how I got my start here in the business.
It's one of the things I find as a professional to be very enjoyable, working with you students and passing along knowledge and insight as well. So the Beach keep their 4 points lead with the Torontonian Hrstinovich to serve. Good reception there by Steph Kins. Big swing at the net by Evangelista, but he's denied by Jackson Christ.
Jackson Christ has been very, very active in this first set. He's looked solid for the Beach.
Elijah Lazor to serve for the Patriots, who did actually get that point as the block went out of bounds, but he overhits the serve. And it's first set point for Long Beach State. I'll have 4 of them. And they'll bring in Connor Bloom, 6'5" senior, to serve out of Huntington Beach. Try to close out set number 1 for the men in white. A dipping serve. Evangelista with the reception is too long, but so is the swing from Jackson Christ. So 1 set point held off by the Patriots, and that'll put Aiden Welton back on the service line.
Christ, I think maybe his eyes got a little big right there. He saw a wide open floor in that back line, and a great opportunity to finish off the first set and just gave a little bit too much mustard.
Yeah, a little rush of blood to the head, as John Champion might say. And here's a nice little touch by Varga, but the Patriots are ready for it. Evangelista off the block. Larson. Here comes a back attack from Hrstinovich. And he got it. And that will close out set number 1 for the Beach, winning it 25-21. As you talked about, Dylan, some service problems, but they were able to overcome them.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's the one thing you want to clean up if you're the Beach going forward, but it's just that depth right now. You look at how the kills were dispersed there in that opening set for the Beach. Hrstinovich with 5, Varga with 4, Braun with 2, Kandev with 2, Christ with 1, so it's a spread.
In an athletic family, his sister Madeline plays soccer up at Canisius College in Buffalo.
As far as it goes with that wrapping on the left hand for Welton, you kind of have to wonder if it's in the back of his head when he goes up to block, right? Because you've already had the finger come out one time. It's an uncomfortable thing to go through. Are you thinking about that when you block? Is it uncomfortable to have that wrap on your hand while you're blocking? But he was the leader there for the Patriots in the opening set. 3 kills for him. He hit 222, so he'd like to be a little bit more efficient, I think, going forward. But that's certainly one of these guys the Patriots will need to rely on if they want to get back in this thing and win a set.
Yeah, and I mentioned our crew earlier. Cass Clark, who's our producers up here trying to get our monitor cable replaced. Kelsey Ortiz is directing, along with Mason Woodruff, Grace Everett, Riley Davidson, Samuel Ng, who's not in his normal position. We normally see him on the floor a lot, both for volleyball as well as basketball, up here along with Sean Thompson, Isaac Kill, and Mason Hopkins taking care of the replays, and Grace Drager and Madeline Lee handling all of the graphics. So we thank all those people for making this production run smoothly. Jake Pizzante, who's been a big part of this offense, 14 assists on 19 attempts. That's a pretty good percentage. So we switch ends. George Mason in the black, attacking from the left. We'll start it off. And here is Pizzante looking. Oh, he went for the quick shot himself as Ben Braun was coming right at the middle. They thought for sure it was going to be another middle attack from the former Buckeye, but they do get the point. Pizzante will go back to serve. Redshirt freshman. Good hard dipping serve. Steph Kins, the libero, with a good reception. Quick swing in the middle, and the kill goes to Alexander Lilly, the sophomore.
Yeah, that's something hard to do that Lilly did right there, is sneaking it past Kellen Larson, the libero, for the Beach. He's one of the better defenders in the country, averaging right around 3 digs a set this season.
There's Welton with that injury. Pizzante looking to set up Braun right in the middle again. That's his spot. And again, we saw him do that on this floor for the Buckeyes many times the last couple of seasons. Skylar Varga will go back to serve. He's still smiling over his Saskatchewan Roughriders winning the Grey Cup this past November with quarterback Trevor Harris. Just 40 miles north of here in Marion, Ohio, at Marion Pleasant High School. He was very surprised to hear that. Big swing and a kill for the Patriots. Zahariv, the Bulgarian, with the swing and the kill. Evangelista, a junior, serving now for the Patriots. Are back on level terms here in set number 2. Short serve. Kandev with the reception. Pizzante, the return for Kandev, and he hit it long in the corner going cross court.
Could see the idea there for Kandev. There was just a little bit of open floor in that back right corner. Sailed it a little bit long.
A close-up look at the junior out of Rochester. Evangelista has 2 kills in this match. And he overcooked the serve there. Back to serve for Beach, number 6, Ben Braun. 5th service error for the Patriots as Ben Braun will go back and serve. Easy reception for Kins, the libero. Back set. Welton goes for the touch.
It's a really nice play there by Welton. He's coming over to close out that block, and as he's doing that, Patriots are trying to go the other way with the ball, sneak it around him, but he was able to stick with it and bury it.
Back set, Welton was a little off there, so he just had to put it over. Pizzante, Kandev is denied at the net. They'll go the other way for Hrstinovich. And George Mason are going to call their first.
Varga was a first-team All-American and led the Beach with 270 kills on their national championship campaign. So far today, he already has 4 kills under his belt. Guys, back to you.
That's 4 kills a second to Hrstinovich. Again, Varga, an under-23 international, Canada under-23 international. I think he might have a chance to make one of their Olympic teams in the future. Quick little touch there. Nice little setup for Alexander Lilly, and the sophomore finds the open place. Back to serve for the Patriots, number 7, Alexander Lilly. Lilly now with 3 kills. And he'll serve it up for the Patriots. Get the margin down to 1 out the timeout. We got a lucky little let cord. Pisante for Kandev.
Get out of the way there. Kandev brought the absolute heat on that kill.
And he had a great angle, too, as well. The right-hander on the left-hand side. Hrstinovich will go back to serve. 6 kills. He's hitting .857. Good dipping serve. Kins with a good reception, but it's a little long. Pisante, the back set. Hrstinovich off of Evangelista. And Aiden Welton racing back there. Can't get it. Racing's a good thing to do today, by the way. A.J. Foyt, the racing legend, turns 91 today. The Beach stretch their lead to 3 points. Already up a set. Big, heavy serve there. Quick try for the putback there by Jackson Herbert is denied.
Man, Hrstinovich, does he look any good? 7 kills in this one. He's hitting .875 and pretty darn good from that service line. That was a heavy, heavy serve.
So it's sort of like what you see doing the Columbus Blue Jackets games, the heavy shot from the defenseman at the point on the power play. The Beach doubled up. A little off speed there by Hrstinovich. Big swing coming out of the back by Aiden Welton.
Yeah, Hrstinovich tried to change speeds with the serve, and it did not fool the Patriots that time. You can kind of see everybody take a little step back. They know he's got that fastball, but he changed speeds that time, and it just left it up there, floated a little bit, which allowed the Patriots to get that kill.
Gabe Metcalf serving out of La Cañada, Flintridge, California. And that's the only serve he'll get as the Beach win another point. And it'll be Alex Kandev serving now. Kandev with 3 kills, but only hitting .143. He also has a service ace and a couple of block assists. Dipping serve, Kins with the reception. And a big swing in the middle, come away with the point as Metcalf set that one up. Jackson Herbert now back on the service line. Zaharev getting a rest as Metcalf comes in as the setter for the Patriots. Good reception there by Kandev. Over here for Varga, but he hit it long. George Mason clawing their way back in. And 4 has been the biggest margin that Long Beach have had. Kandev the reception. Pisante. Hrstinovich, but he overcooked it.
Yeah, one of the few attack errors for Hrstinovich in this one.
Only his second. A timeout called by Jay Hosick has seemed to invigorate his team. Kandev have trouble with the reception, and Larso just had to send it all the way over. An open ball here for the Patriots. Set up for the back attack, and it's blocked at the net by Jackson Christ.
Yeah, a little combo of Varga and Christ that time. Christ has been very good at the net so far.
6'10" freshman who's also played for the USA under 21s. And he caught the line for the service
How about
ace.
that,
Whoa.
sir?
Only the 3rd ace for the Beach. Compared with 8 service errors. Again, that line drive serve, Kins with a heavy reception. And Welton will just have to try to send it over, but he failed to do so. It's not that Novak Djokovic topspin where you serve we're seeing. It's a line drive serve, but then again, Chris is 6'10", and he can get off the floor.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot less service errors in this second set, aren't we, from Long Beach State?
Yes. Here's a chance on the near side. Welton is denied. Good dig there. Varga tries for the touch, and Welton denies him. Hrstinovic just had to send it over. Welton, and then a big swing there by the setter, Pizzanti. Yeah, Beach only had one service error in this second set.
Yeah, we haven't really seen many long rallies between these two sides. That felt like one of the longer rallies we've seen, and I think the Beach feels pretty good doing that, right? That they'll toss it over. As long as they can get it back, they feel like they've got that confidence for the kills.
And that's something you pointed out early in the first set, Dylan. Mason wants to make those points quick if they at all can. The longer points, as you say, really favor Long Beach with their experience especially.
Yep, it's the experience, it's the depth, and they just continue to kind of spread the wealth right now when it comes to the offense. Hrstinovic leading the way with 7 kills, but everybody else kind of 3 to 5.
Make that 8 now for Hrstinovic as the dig attempt by Jackson Herbert went wide. Pizzanti now into serve for Long Beach. Pizzanti with 20 assists and a kill. Pretty heavy serve, well received there by Herbert. Across the way, it's Evangelista, but he's denied at the net. But that went out, so George Mason will keep the ball. Here's Welton, who Hannah Williford talked about earlier. Welton with 4 kills, but only hitting .071. Kandev with the reception. Pizzanti. Hrstinovic goes for the touch. They dug it out. Great play by Aiden Welton. Pizzanti will go for the set right in the middle. Ben Braun, how many times have we said that today? At least 3?
Ben Braun hitting 1,000 with 4 kills now. Not many answers for the Patriots. There's just so much size up front. All of this height advantage for the Beach. You can see it on the floor, and it's very evident when it comes to the score in this one.
Yeah, and this isn't an inexperienced team for George Mason either. They're just getting beaten by one of the best teams in the country right now. Pizzanti goes all the way across Hrstinovic. Is denied. Here comes Evangelista, but the block at the net. Ben Braun in on that one for Long Beach State. We'll open up their biggest lead of the match now. Skylar Varga to serve again. Evangelista with the dig. Kins returns it to Evangelista, who puts it off the block for the kill.
Yeah, Varga nearly got there to dig, but just a little bit out of his reach. So I just talked about all that height and the advantage at the net for Long Beach. Well, that one goes off the block and gets the point for the Patriots.
Evangelista at 6'4". He now has 5 kills, and he's hitting .375. But left that one short. Second service error for the Patriots. 25, Ryan Peluso Jr., a National High School Player of the Year in 2022, comes on for the Beach. The set, the quick shot in the middle. Big kill for Alexander Lilly. Lilly's 5th kill, and that shares the team lead with Evangelista. Now the sophomore will go back to serve. He's expected to be a big contributor to this Patriots team after having an outstanding freshman season in 2025. Big, heavy dipping serve. Larson with the reception. Hrstinovic off the block. Quickly put back. Varga keeps that alive even though somebody yelled out. Hrstinovic going cross court, but net violation gives the point to Long Beach State. Eight kills and a 4, but the hitting percentage has come down considerably for the Torontonian. He's now at .467. Hard to believe a player coming down to .467 in hitting. Oh, he caught a lucky let cord there, but it was dug out by Brady Ruth, the number 3 in for George Mason. Pizzanti. Kandev!
Was ready for this opportunity. The head coach in waiting, right? And
Yes.
you said it, the cupboard was not bare. He's got a great roster here. And this team looks primed for another run. The Beach looks very, very good against George Mason. And I'll go back to it. This is likely their biggest test of the year so far. They'll get a better test in Ohio State tomorrow, but this team is handling it with relative ease.
Aiden Welton gets that kill, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Beach bounce back playing back-to-back as opposed to Ohio State, who get a day of rest today, although they probably do some light training at some point today. Gabe Metcalf back to serve. Pizzanti, the quick set for Kandev. And the point's going to go to Long Beach for another net violation. Mention Metcalf. Both his parents played college volleyball. Katie was at USC, and his dad preceded him for George Mason. Here's Kandev with 5 kills, hitting .333, and one of 3 service aces for the Beach. Goes off speed with that one. Quick swing in the middle, great block at the net by Varga. But the Patriots put it out wide, and the Beach stretched their lead to 8 points.
You could see that block all the way for Varga. He just completely stuffed the Patriots.
Yeah, pretty good defensive play by Varga, who's normally an outside hitter.
Yeah, Varga, Hershinovic doing most of the damage in this one. Varga's taking a backseat to him.
Kandev hooked that one wide, and that'll put Jackson Herbert back on the line for the Patriots. Herbert with 2 kills. Goes cross court, great dig by Larson. Skylar Varga comes up with another one, going cross court.
Well, right when I'm talking about Hershinovic taking most of the opportunity in this one, Skylar Varga comes up big for the Beach. Look at this, going cross court over everybody.
Jackson Christ now in to serve for Long Beach State. He has the other two aces for the Beach. Metcalf with the set across the way. Evangelista is denied. Kandev. Vargo just had to send it over and does. Kins. Metcalf. Evangelista goes for the bump. Big swing in the center by the setter, Pizzanti. Christ. Varga off the block, but here's a back set this time, and a nice little put away by Aiden Welton off the assist from Metcalf.
Longest rally of the match so far, and the Patriots take advantage. Earlier in the set, we were kind of talking about how those longer rallies we felt advantaged the Beach, but that middle of the floor just wide open, so the Patriots able to find that space and earn themselves their 15th point.
Yeah, they drew Ben Braun out of that inside position as Brady Ruth sends it long. Ruth wearing number 3. I think I've seen that somewhere before.
Well, that's one of those things momentum-wise I think that's frustrating for the Patriots right now. You just earn a big point there after a long rally. You say, hey, let's get back in this thing. But the service error costs them and gives it right back to Long Beach.
Pizzanti serves it long.
And, of course, as I say that.
Yeah, again, the commentator's curse. That's at least 2 for us today, 1 for each of us. Pizzanti with 26 assists.
And that'll put Aiden Welton back on the service line. 6 kills to lead the team. And that's another one we talked about. The service errors seem to have come down most of this second set. Now they're climbing again.
Yeah, 3 consecutive service errors, and now we've got the set point for the Beach.
8 of them to be exact, as Skylar Varga will put it in play. 6 kills, hitting .417. Terrific reception there by Herbert, but it was too much and too hot to handle. And that will do it for set number 2. The Beach looking to get another sweep. They're 1 set away from that as they close out this second one, 25-16. Number 22. Also a change at the libero position. Robbie Nardoni out of Fort Mill, South Carolina in the white shirt for the Patriots, who will be on the right side here in set number 3, looking to extend this match. There's Skylar Varga for the Beach. Varga with 6 kills, hitting .417, along with a service ace and 3 digs. And he was expected to be a big part of this team, and so far he's delivering. It'll be Jake Pesante to serve, the redshirt freshman. He has 25 assists in this match. Pesante had 17 assists in the opener match against Central State a couple of days ago. But he gives the Patriots the early lead. This will be Gabe Metcalf, they mentioned, a junior out of La Cañada, Flint Ridge. A few Californians that got away from Long Beach State. And another service error, and we're back to the service errors again, Dylan Tyrer.
Yeah, and something that Jay Hosick talked about there with Hannah Williford was just how the Patriots are able to handle the serves of the Beach. Said they're a big serving team. Here's one of those guys with a big serve in Skylar Varga. Obviously, they can't handle it right there. I mean, that is a tough one to defend as it's kind of diving towards that line. But
he hooked it a little bit like my 5 would. Varga with his second ace. He's been one of the leaders in the nation in that category so far. Good dig by the libero Nardoni. Nardoni trying to get to that one, but instead it's Welton who got there, and then Nardoni ends up crashing near the stands. Oh, he looks okay, though. That could be a little bit hazardous. You know, there's a lot of room on the aprons here in the Covelli Center. Varga has 3 digs, 5 service receptions. Another heavy dipping serve. Quick set in the middle, Welton, and it's blocked by Hrstinovic at the net, but he put it out. He did catch the line, I take it back.
yeah, this team is just so good when it comes to defending, particularly at the net. And if you're able to beat those blocks, they've, of course, got Kellen Larson, their libero. He's a tremendous defender as well.
Metcalf looking to set up Welton, goes off speed. Pesante is there. Hrstinovic goes for touch, a little overcooked. Welton one more time, but he's denied the net. It's Ben Braun, the former Buckeye. There he is, the number 6 for the Beach. So 2 seasons here in Columbus before transferring last year to the Beach. Great start in this 3rd set for the Beach, up 5-1 early. Welton denied at the net again. Across the way, they'll try the other side, and it's Hayden Karpinski off the block.
One got a big cheer from the George Mason fans in attendance.
Yeah, there's about 25, 30 of them over there on that far side. And Karpinski is senior, 6'4", out of Kimberly, Wisconsin. Dipping serve received there by Kandev. And Kandev with the big swing, but he missed it wide.
See how the Beach handles this. Just a little bit of a lull here with back-to-back points going the Patriots' way.
And he pushed the serve wide. I think listening to the Long Beach coach, Nick McCray, he has a little bit of a mentality of another Californian, Dennis Conner, the great America's Cup sailor, who likes to say, when they're down, you jump on them. And that's what the Beach are trying to do here to get their 3rd straight season sweep. In the center, it's David Hill for the Patriots, who comes up with the kill.
Well, more good work here by the Patriots. Jay Hosick said it. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a life here from our second teamers that are coming on.
His mom, Sarah, played volleyball, and his dad, Chris, played basketball at Wheaton College.
And now Hill will serve for the Patriots. Low serve. Caught him a little off guard. Kandev just going to have to send it over. Trying for the dig was Jack Lopez, the number 15, but he couldn't bring it off. Another Ohio connection here. Jack Lopez's sister Mary Kate plays volleyball at Toledo. Now here's Hrstinovich, 9 kills, now hitting .500, also 6 block assists. Doing it both ways for the Beach. And he pushed it wide off of the line judge.
I think they may want to take a look at this.
I think you're right, as Nick McRae is going over to talk to the floor referee, Jared Mallett. Indeed, he will pull the challenge card. First one he's brought out tonight out of 3. And again, reminder, the Long Beach State will be taking on Ohio State tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. That'll also be available here live on Big Ten Plus. Hannah Williford will be joined by Jonathan Mathis for that one. Next week, Buckeyes back in action here, taking on Lincoln Memorial University here in the Covelli Center. That'll be a 7 p.m. first serve. And I'll be down the floor in Hannah's role while Connor Canfield and Sarah Sharp join me, the all double initials broadcast crew that we're going to have next Friday night. Again, reminder, all of Ohio State's men's volleyball matches here in the Covelli Center also available live and on demand here on Big Ten Plus. Let's see. Heard it there from Jared Mallett. The line shot did indeed catch the line. Also want to make sure we send along our best wishes to Dan Wallenberg, normally the SID for men's volleyball. He's out tonight, but he is expected to be back next week. So Hrstinovich again to serve. Goes off speed this time. Tremendous dig by Nardoni. Welton, not a whole lot on that one. Pesante, middle attack by Varga. He just overpowered Hayden Karpinski with that one, straight up Route 1.
Varga hasn't had to carry the load in this match for Long Beach, but you're still seeing him flash, right?
Yeah, again, he now has 7 kills, Braun with 4, Kandev with 6, and Hrstinovich with 9. And the serve over hit there, but that's something that you talked about as one of the strengths of this team, the varied attack. It's a little like the late, great Mike Leach with his air raid offense. How many weapons can you defend against?
Oh, and that's what makes this team so difficult, and how many weapons can you beat when you're on the offensive, right? We've just talked about how good they are defensively. Beat you just so many different ways.
Christ is denied at that attack. Chance for Jack Lopez. Pesante. And finally, Jackson Christ is able to put that one away. Christ with only his 2nd kill. So Alex Kandev will now serve. Out of Sofia, Bulgaria, the capital. If you remember the Maleva sisters from the WA Tour back in the 1990s, they were from Sofia as well. Back set. Welton is denied. Nardoni. Welton, a second bite of the cherry, and it's put back in by Jackson Christ and Skylar Varga. Boy, ever since the middle of the second set, you could really feel Long Beach turning the screws on this match.
Yeah, I think it really goes back to what Nick McRae was talking about, right? That they preach more. It's so evident in the way that they play. There are just so few weaknesses, and they're able to dial it up on you. Another one there, they've been dominant at the net. I think that's really been a big storyline in this match. When, like you talked about, kind of starting off in the middle of that second set, just their dominance at the net. Seeing the Patriots have such a hard time just getting the ball over.
Yeah, the defense has been terrific for the Beach as Kandev continues serving with the Beach up 7. And this time, the block is overpowered by Hayden Karpinski. That'll be Jack Lopez back to serve out of Mount Prospect, Illinois. Insert your Blues Brothers reference here. Good reception off the let court. Here comes Hrstinovich. And watch out down there, Hannah Williford. As Nardoni couldn't do much with that. It just overpowered him, and he couldn't dig it out. Look at the hitting percentage. Along George Mason at 133. That speaks to your point, Dylan Tyrer, about the Beach defense. Chris with the serve. Nardoni, a terrific day. Quick setup in the middle.
Trying to set up Brady Ruth, and he'll get the kill out of that. There's Ruth, 6'5" freshman out of Orlando. Easy reception for Kandev. Varga will turn provider as Kandev with the back attack is denied at the net by Karpinski and Hill.
A little bit more of this life here for the Patriots.
We've seen them do this a few times in the match, down and seemingly out, but slowly clawing their way back in during the middle of the sets. As Ruth will serve again, but left it short. 12th service error against the Patriots. And Pisanti will go back to serve. He has 29 assists. Good low dipping serve, well received though. Great swing by Welton, but it's dug out. Varga's gonna try from behind the line, but he missed it. Tried to surprise them a little bit, but hit it wide. Gabe Metcalf will go back to serve. He's done well deputizing for Zahariv. Back attack it, it's Kandev, speaking of Bulgarians. Kandev from behind the line. And with that, we will.
I just think you're seeing the size and the athleticism take over at the net for the Beach. You think about what they've got out there. Jackson Christ has been one of these guys frequently on the court, 6'10". Ben Braun out there, 6'11". You just continue to go down. Hrstinovich, 6'9". And a player like Varga that we see serving right now, he's listed at 6'4", or excuse me, 6'7", but he's also got just tremendous athleticism. He's up there blocking just like these other guys.
Yeah, he's a legit 6'7". I was talking to him earlier again about the Saskatchewan Roughriders. As another block at the net again, it's Ben Braun there teaming up with Alex Kandev. Ben Braun enjoying his return to the Covelli Center after a year away. Varga, 7 kills, hitting .357 and 3 aces. Again, he's among the nation's leaders in that category. Dipping serve, dug out nicely by Karpinski. In the center, it's Welton, but he sends it long. He's calling for a touch at the net, but as of right now, he's not getting it, although Jay Hossack is over there chatting with Jared Mallett, and he pulls the challenge card, so they're going to take another look at this. Again, thanks to our Big Ten Plus Student U crew. Gianna's been talking to us all day long, giving us all the great instructions that we need, especially when we had to send it down to Hannah Williford, Cass Clark, and Kelly Ortiz running the show, along with Mason Woodruff, Grace Everett, Riley Davidson, Samuel Ing, Sean Thompson down the floor on the cameras, Isaac Kill and Mason Hopkins on the replays, Grace Drager and Madeline Lee taking care of all the graphics. So you see the Patriots and now the Beach huddled around their coaches as Jared Mallett takes another look at that play at the net to see if there was indeed a touch by Long Beach State on that big swing. Again, Ohio State and Long Beach go at it tomorrow from 4 p.m. here on Big Ten Plus. And it's Louis Ventura, the first referee, up on the stand.
I'm eager to see what the Buckeyes look like against the Beach. You know, we've seen Long Beach have just so much success at the net. You know, I think in that. All right, call has been confirmed there. I just wanted to give a moment for that. But in that first set, you know, the service errors, that was the story. And since then, it's just been all the success for the Beach at the net. The blocking, you went over those numbers. We had the package from Hannah just a moment ago. It's been oh so impressive. So how do the Buckeyes handle that? Are they watching this effort from George Mason, learning about how they can attack this Beach squad? Got the Buckeyes. They're feeling good coming off a win against George Mason yesterday.
What were you saying about service errors? Although that's only the third in this set. They've gone down considerably. The Beach had 8 service errors in the first set, only 6 now since then. And so Karpinski will now serve for George Mason. Dipping serve well received by Kellen Larson, the libero. Herstinovich goes for the touch. Great dig by Robbie Nardoni. The big swing at the net by Lopez is denied. Herstinovich again. Dug out by Lazor. And the big swing by Aiden Welton. And he does get the touch and the kill. Yeah, Welton, even though he's only a sophomore, is going to be a big contributor for this George Mason team, who definitely will look to build on this. Karpinski with a severe overhit. That's the 13th service error for Long Beach, for George Mason. And Miles Jordan comes in for Long Beach. He's celebrating a sort of homecoming, if I may borrow from you too. A few people might remember his dad, Matt, who was a goalkeeper for Columbus Crew. Jordan dipping serve, didn't dip enough. Ben Braun for Long Beach State and Brady Ruth for George Mason coming back in. David Hill back to serve. Hill has 1 kill and 1 attack attempt tonight. Pasante looking to set up Herstinovich, and he just did get it through the block on the joust. Lopez couldn't quite do enough to keep that on the other side of the net. And the Beach will send in Wojciech Gajek out of Katowice, Poland, down near the Czechia border in southern Poland. Herstinovich now to serve. 11 kills to lead all players and hitting at .500 with 6 block assists. Good reception by Nardoni. Trying to dump it over the net was Welton. Nardoni again. Welton. Great dig made by Varga. But Candiv just had to put it over. He nearly found the open space. He actually did, as Metcalf couldn't get there fast enough.
How frustrating is that for George Mason? First, you have an unbelievable dig by Kellen Larson, and then again, Skylar Varga with a great dig to keep that play alive, and eventually the Beach wins it. George Mason has to be shaking their heads. Almost unbelievable they didn't win a point there.
Talent's even better when it's aided by a little bit of good fortune. And the net violation against the Patriots gives the point to the Beach. We're just 3 points away from another sweep. We'll have about 26 hours to bounce back and get ready for the Buckeyes tomorrow here in the Covelli Center. Metcalf. Welton! Aiden Welton with the line shot, and that's more difficult than going cross court. Island Doty will come in at setter to take the place of Jake Pizzante. Pizzante finishes with 31 assists. And now Welton, who just got that kill, will serve. Welton with 8. That leads the Patriots, but only hitting .033. Across the way, Gajek able to get the point off the touch. Gajek, Poland under 21 international. And here's Alex Kandev to serve for Long Beach State. 8 kills for the Bulgarian. And a heavy serve is not able to be handled by Hayden Karpinski. And it's match point for Long Beach State. Kandev can't close it out with a service ace. Jackson Herbert to serve, or Jack Lopez will serve, number 15. Lopez heavy dipping serve. Candev with a good dig. And net violation by Island Doty as he tried to play a little back set. So, two match points saved. Lopez, 6'5", sophomore, attended the Loyola Academy in the Chicagoland area. Caught the let court, great dig by Vargo, used the foot to keep that one going. In the center, Ruth is denied. Across the way, it's Welton denied. Now they'll try the other side for Karpinski. Candev looking for Gayak. Overhit on the dig, and finally it falls, and Long Beach State, another sweep. This time beating George Mason 3-0.
Pretty easy work for the Beach in this one. Didn't they look so good, Keith? It started maybe a little bit slower than they would have wanted, but those final two sets extremely dominant, particularly at the net. A joy to watch this team compete. I'm very excited to see them against Ohio State tomorrow.
You know, Ohio State might not be too excited. They know they are going to have a big challenge facing the reigning national champions as we see the handshake line between these two teams. But again, George Mason, you know, for the first set and a half, it was a pretty good fight. But again, talent eventually won out, and the superior team finally came away with the win. Beach are yet to lose a set this season. And again, we'll have that Long Beach State, Ohio State match tomorrow, live here on Big Ten Plus from 4 p.m. with Jonathan Mathis and Hannah Williford, who's going to have our man of the match shortly. But first, we'll take a look at the final numbers. And boy, that second one really tells the story, especially from the middle of the second set on.
Yeah, that hitting percentage for Long Beach State, they started white hot in the first set, but George Mason hitting 108. That's because Long Beach was so good at the net. They just weren't giving the Patriots very much in this one. 7 aces, a big number in this match as well. We talked, or Hannah did, with Jay Hossack, the coach for the Patriots in this one, and he said as much that, you know, the Beach so good when it comes to serving the ball, and obviously that number is a big one there. 7 aces to none, 28 blocks to 3. That tells the story of this one.